Now we will start the mechanism of a drug absorption. The principal mechanism of the drug absorption basically categorized in the three forms: transcellular, paracellular, vesicular. Starting the transcellular, we have the first the passive diffusion. See, passive diffusion is the non-ionic fusion. It's also called a non-ionic diffusion, and the difference in the drug concentration gradient on either side of the membrane. So drug movement is result in the kinetic energy of molecule, and as no energy is required, the process is known as passive diffusion. So in the passive diffusion, it's a downhill energy independent process. And the rate of the drug transfer is directly proportional to the concentration gradient between the GI fluid and the blood compartment. So greater the area and lesser the thickness of the membrane, faster will be the diffusion, and more rapid will be the rate of drug absorption from intestine than from the stomach. So in passive diffusion, it is best governed by the Fick's law. Fick's law is in which drug molecule diffuses from the region of high concentration to the low concentration until the equilibrium is attained, and the rate of the diffusion is directly proportional to the concentration gradient across the membranes. Mathematically divided by the following equation, in which dq by dt is the rate of drug diffusion amount by time. It also represents the rate of appearance of the drug in the blood. D is the diffusion coefficient. A surface area. Km by W is the partition coefficient of the drug between the lipoidal membrane and the aqueous GI fluid. No units. CGIT and C minus C is the difference in the concentration of drug. GID represents the GI fluids and C represents the plasma. That is known as the concentration gradient. H is the membrane thickness. So, apart from this, most of the drug, nearly about 90% of drug absorbs by the passive diffusion. Second one is the pore transport. Pore transport is a convective transport, bulk flow, or a filtration. In this mechanism, it's responsible for the transport of molecule into the cell through the protein channel present in the cell membrane, and generally it occurs by the cellular solvent drag force. What is solvent drag force? The force in which the water flux could promote the transport of a drug is known as the solvent drag. And for the dose process, the absorption of low molecular weight and generally water soluble drug uh, through narrow aqueous filled channels or pores as the membrane structure, for example urea, water, and sugar. And third is for the molecular weight up to 400 Dalton can be absorbed by the filtration. Next is the carrier mediated. What is a carrier mediated? It needs a carrier for the transportation, as the name pronounced. So the carrier is the protein that has uncharged, and outer surface will allow the drug to be soluble within the lipid of the membrane. So it is a reversibly, the drug binds reversibly and non-covalently with the molecules to be transported. So many drugs like 5-fluorouracil, 5-bromouracil, they can be cause a false nutrient. They serve as a false nutrient because the structure specific drugs is similar and essential to the nutrient, and they act as a false nutrient. So this is a carrier mediated transports, which is a specialized transport mechanism without which many essential water soluble nutrients like monosaccharides, amino acid, and vitamin will be absorbed. Last is the facilitated. It is also current mediated transport system that operates down the concentration gradient, that is the downhill. And driving forces the concentration gradient, since no energy is required, process is not inhibited by any metabolic poisons that interfere with the energy production. So facilitated fusion of some vitamin B12. If we talk about vitamin B12, it requires an intrinsic factor and a carrier. So together, the intrinsic factor IF is denoted by IF, and a glycoprotein produced by the gastric parietal cells form a complex with vitamin B12 and then transported across the intestinal membrane by a carrier system. Coming on to the active transport, it requires consumption of an ATP for a transport of a molecule. And generally, there are two type of active transport. That is a primary active, and second is the secondary active. In primary active, there is a direct ATP requirement, example absorption of a glucose, and in the secondary active there is no direct requirement of ATP. It takes advantage of the previous existing concentration gradient. The energy required in transporting an ion aids the transport of another ion or a molecule either in the same direction or in the opposite direction. So it could be a symport or an antiport. In a symport it's a co-transport, and in the antiport it's a counter transport. In symport there's a movement of the both molecules in the same direction, like sodium glucose symport, and in antiport it involves movement of molecules in the opposite direction. For example, expulsion of hydrogen ions using the sodium gradient by the kidneys. Rather, last is ionic, ion pair, and endocytosis. So, coming out in the ion pair transport. Ion pair transport requires for absorption of a drug like quaternary ammonium compounds, sulfonic acid, which ionize under all pH is known as ion pair. It generally form a neutral complex and form and have a both required lipophilicity as well as aqueous solubility for a passive diffusion. So propranolol is a drug for ion pair transport. Last one is endocytosis. Endocytosis is the minor transport mechanism, generally doesn't use and involves engulfing of extracellular material within a segment of a cell membrane to form a saccule or a vesicle. So this transport mechanism doesn't have to be in aqueous solution to be observed, and it could be due to the phagocytosis and a pincocytosis. Phagocytosis is the cell eating and pinco is the cell drinking. Generally, 7 polio vaccines and large protein molecules, botulism toxin that causes food poisoning are thought to be absorbed by the phagocytosis. Thank you.